Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be painting on black paper with Arrtx acrylic paint markers. Arrtx was kind enough to send me these two 60 color sets of paint markers. One is called regular color set and one is called anime color set, and I think I like the anime color set a little bit more just because the color palette was more to what I would normally go for, and I had to of course swatch them all on my black paper that I was using to make sure I knew what all the colors were going to look like on black and how it would show up and everything, because it tends to look a lot different on black paper, especially with these kinds of paints. So I taped off my little book, I had my swatches, and I was ready to go. So I started out by sketching with this light blue pencil. I like to start by loosely doing some long lines to show myself where the main focal points should be, and I'm using big, straight, simple shapes. Don't really know where I'm going yet, just want to kind of map out how I want the composition to look. Once I have a few big lines down to show where I generally want the illustration to take up space on the page, I do some more smaller lines, still simple, just to further make good placements in the composition so nothing is too close together and everything is all spaced out nicely and looking okay. And this is generally how I start illustrations. If I have a thumbnail done or not, I don't know what I'm gonna draw, it's still good to get the ideas flowing, and it's a good starting point, I find, to do the big lines method, I guess. That's just how I start my drawings, and I find it really helps for drawing from imagination. So I find it's fun to do an under sketch for the markers when I'm using them, because I have found that it can just be super basic. I can have fun going with the flow as I use the markers, because I'll lose the sketch anyways. There's really no pressure to make it look good, which helps me a lot because I tend to stress about the details. And with stuff like this, I feel like I can really just be free because I know I can just keep going over top. So that's pretty fun for me, and it makes for me to have a low pressure sketching day, and I've found that I really like that with painting and with markers, anything like this. The only thing to note, I would say, about sketching on black paper in general is that when I erased, it took up a bit of the dye on the paper or something, and the spot was a different color after. Maybe it was just the remnants from the pencil, I'm not sure, but either way I couldn't get it off, but you don't notice it in the end result, so it doesn't really matter. I had this problem with a few different brands of black paper, so it's not just this one. So it's just something to be aware of, that you kind of, once you put a line down, you sort of want to keep it there, because if you try to erase it, it doesn't really look as good after on the paper. When I'm doing the first highlights on the tree, I am just trying to give myself an idea of where the highlights should go, kind of like sketching at the same time of making the finished drawing, because I know having layers of the color will help me either way. So I'm just sort of trying stuff on at points where I'm not sure if it looks good, because I've never really done this on black paper before. So I'm kind of sketching at the same time as doing the drawing, and just seeing what works, because I don't actually end up keeping the whole tree highlighted. I sort of want to focus the light I decided into one section of the drawing, and you'll see that after. I really hope that makes sense. Sketching like this, I realized, involves an ugly stage, and with markers and painting in general, of course, there's an ugly stage, so just stick with me and you'll see. But this was really just supposed to be like a really fun draw whatever, and whatever appears on a forest floor, just kind of stick those things in there. I sort of decided put some mushrooms, and then I decided I wanted to add a couple more colors because I was keeping it pretty cool toned, and I decided to make the mushrooms and maybe throw in a couple flowers there or something. So I liked where it went, and I've never done a drawing like this before, so all in all, it was a pretty good experiment and something new for me. And it made me like black paper, and since then I've been using it quite a bit, so that's always good. I got a couple questions in my last video about the types of markers I was using and if it matters if you use a different kind. I don't think it matters. I think you can do stuff like this with other types of markers if you want. Just the reason why I like these ones is because there's a really nice brush tip. There's a lot of paint in it. You don't have to shake it or anything before, and it really is gentle on the paper as well. So they have a lot of benefits, but if you have other ones that you want to use, you use those, no problem. The reason why I like the anime set a little bit better than the regular color set, despite it having a good selection of fluorescent colors, which is great, and I love those ones. The anime set has a little bit more tones that I would normally go to. It's all pastel. It's got a lot of really nice greens, and it's all colors, but the regular color set has a section of metallic, and I just would never really use those, so it's kind of wasted on me. But nothing against metallic colors, it's just not like in my style that I don't really use them. So that's why I kind of was really excited about the anime set, and I think I'm definitely going to get a lot of use out of it. And here I just started doing these teeny tiny little flowers because I wanted to sprinkle some more colored than just a bunch of like greenish blue. And then I did teeny tiny little stems, and I'm trying to show, I was just doing the impression of stuff. I wasn't kind of going for too much accuracy. Like I said, just like a nice forest floor sketch. Here's one of the fluorescent markers that I decided this is where the light is going to be coming in onto the forest floor. So I decided to put the like highlightery bright colors on that section. And then I got a little bit brave and put it on a couple of the flowers as well. And you'll see that it did change a little tiny bit because I went over some of the drawing again with a bunch of green and changed it a tiny bit, but I don't know if you can really tell that much. And I put a lot of black to cover part of the tree stump because I sort of decided I wanted to focus the light kind of beaming down right onto the bottom of where that tree is. So I was just doing some final details with the black, putting some shadows on top of the mushrooms and on the leaves and stuff just to make it look super high contrast and really accentuate where that light beam is shining into the forest floor. And then to finish everything up, I just wanted to add some very small lines and some little details on everything with my felt tip pen. So that's what I did. I just kind of went over a couple of the mushrooms, added some really tiny shadows, just any sort of details I couldn't get small enough with the black paint marker. I just used the pen. All in all, I would really recommend practicing by painting forest floors or drawing forest floors because I find there's a lot of different items in there that are useful to practice, like little leaves and branches and twigs and sticks and mushrooms and anything like that. And you can do it in so many different ways. And if you use black paper, have fun with it because it is really fun and different and it can challenge you. And I found this to be really easygoing and just a good practice. And then I don't usually use painter's tape, but I think I got this from Home Depot. I just get the purple one because it comes off really easily. But I don't know, this book is like kind of cheap, so it kind of pulled up some of the paper, but you can't really tell at the end, and it doesn't really matter. It's not like this is really just for fun. This is the part where it was really bad. Ooh, rips up a whole chunk of the book. That sucks. Oh well. What can you do? Is this satisfying? It was satisfying to pull it. I never usually do it, but I'm going to do it more now just so that I can take it off at the end. And I even, for some reason, put it on the back of the book, so I'll be showing you that as well, I guess. I don't really know what to say anymore. So this is what the finished part looks like. And I just have to sign it, and I've been dating all of my sketches now because I want to mark my work and see where I'm going and where I've been. And thank you once again, Arrtx, for the markers, and thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye!